Please welcome to the PromaxBDA stage, the host of Emmy Award-winning entertainment news program Extra, Mario Lopez.
All right, now it's time to present a very special award, one that represents a lifetime of stellar achievement in the highest honor that PromaxBDA bestows. Here to present this special award, please welcome President of Stephen Arnold Music, Stephen Arnold.
Oh, well, good afternoon, everyone. I'm really, truly humbled to be here and stand here and pay tribute to who was at first a client, then it became a good friend, and then my mentor. And many of you here in this audience are much more qualified to speak to his amazing legacy than me, so I'm grateful for the opportunity. To me, the most striking thing about Lee was that everything was always about the art. His attention to all the details of each element, like the music, visuals, the copy, the color, the motion, the font, the announcer, was really, truly amazing. And it made him a master of whatever creative medium he chose. Lee seemed to understand that these details were really critical to the emotional connection with the viewer. And he knew that that connection would resonate and drive the viewer's behavior. In short, Lee knew how to make us feel something. Sadly, Lee left us abruptly last fall, but the connections he made with all who worked for him, worked with him, beside him, and knew him, that'll live on forever. So I'm pleased that he is the recipient of this year's Life Achievement Award.
There are many talented people in the television marketing business, but every so often one rises above as an innovator and a visionary. Today we honor one of our best, Lee Minard, whose dazzling career paved the way for us all. In short, Lee was the man.
You took marketing and promotion at the local level and raised the bar so high that it felt like the network. I wouldn't have done what I did in my career without you in my life.
Born in Colorado, he grew up in Washington State. Starting as an art director, producer, and director, Lee jumped to TV marketing in the early 70s.
He was a great mentor. He used to go through my spots frame by frame. He was meticulous. His detail was incredible, and it's what made him a great creative.
His storied career took him to Baltimore, Detroit, Denver, Dallas, and New York, where he spent 9 years at WCBS TV and 2 years at the Food Network.
During one's career, you may be lucky enough to work with a person like Lee, who had a heart of gold to go along with his creative genius.
I loved the guy. He was a mentor to me, he was an inspiration, and I'll never forget him.
Prior to retiring in Arizona in 2013, he spent 11 years at KLAS-TV here in Las Vegas.
I was fortunate enough to work with Lee at 2 grade 8s, both WFAA and KLAS in Las Vegas. Now, I was too young in Dallas to really appreciate his talents then, but getting to be part of his creative vision as our promotions director here in Las Vegas was a true pleasure.
Lee left his mark not only on TV stations, but on the writers, producers, artists, videographers, editors, and colleagues he inspired. And Lee's brilliant, diverse body of work has been honored with awards too numerous to mention.
He could take just a seed and build a flower out of it, but that's Lee. That was quintessential Lee. A great promotion manager, great art director. Not everybody remembers that. But more than anything, a person we all looked up to and we all wanted to emulate.
Throughout his life, Lee was known as the Man in Black. He was a humble, soft-spoken guy with a caring, inspiring, and supportive manner. It was never about him. It was always about you. A finer human being never walked the earth. A writer, painter, and musician, Lee was the quintessential Renaissance man, a true Leonardo. And like Da Vinci, he was fascinated by science and new technology. His favorite saying was, "Stay curious."
I was so happy to have the opportunity to work with Lee. Lee brought me into the promotions department at KUSA. He was a great mentor in my transition from news to marketing and 35mm filmed promos.
He was also enthralled by the outdoors, and in retirement, Lee's passion for nature photography blossomed. The images of birds and other animals he captured on his walks were breathtaking.
He shared that same love of art and creativity with those of us he worked with, and left his mark on those lucky enough to have known him.
And today, each of us has learned from the innovation and techniques that Lee helped invent. He was our teacher, and he was our friend.
If he was here today, he'd balk and he'd say it's too much pomp, it's too fancy. Then he'd want to see his tribute video. And he'd have more than a few suggestions to improve it. You know what? He'd be right.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, accepting the Station Summit Lifetime Achievement Award on behalf of Lee Minard, please welcome Mary Alice Minard.
Wow. Lee would say less is more. Okay, goodbye. No. Truly, thank you. I am so touched, and so is everyone in Lee Minard's circle of family, friends, and fans. I'm here with 3 of my stepkids, 3 of Lee's 5 kids, Tamarack, Derek, and Kevin. We're all so happy and feel such great pride at this wonderful tribute. Frankly, for me, because I've attended so many conferences with him before, it's surreal and overwhelming. Just like the last few months have been, but today is a good kind of overwhelming. And by the way, you know Lee, he liked to play it cool. I can just hear him whispering in his mellow voice, saying, "Keep it simple, Mary Alice, don't overdo it, don't get carried away." But I'm not cool like Lee. It's easy to get carried away when I think of his remarkable talents and creativity, combined with a personality that can warm up an entire room. He was a beautiful soul and had his own kind of magic. But he was so modest and so humble that I often had to serve as his personal publicist, self-appointed, of course. I mean, how else was anybody to know what he was doing or what he accomplished? Because he wouldn't talk about it. He was happier patting other people on the back, making them better, and he took great pride in that. Being in television, creative services really was the perfect profession for him. Sure, there are things that made him crazy, but mostly he felt lucky that he had a job where he could pour his diverse passions and imagination into nearly every work day and off the clock, even during retirement. Promax has long played an important part in Lee's career, all the way back to when Promax was called BPA. Some of you might not remember that. He was an avid supporter. Year after year, Promax gave him the opportunity to learn exciting new things, to teach, to learn, teach and learn, share ideas, make new friends, and catch up with longtime pals along the way. We deeply appreciate Promax's doing this today. It's a great honor. It makes us all very happy that his talents and contributions are being acknowledged. Thank you to everyone. Special thanks to Dave Bauman, Stephen Arnold, and the staff at Stephen Arnold Music. Thanks to the colleagues who appeared in the fabulous tribute video, and of course to its editor, Jim Hart, I believe. Correct? Great. There will never be another Lee Minard. He was one of a kind. Many hearts have been broken since he left us. It seems impossible to fill that void, but at the same time, we feel so lucky that he had been in our lives. This honor and the tributes are truly uplifting and will help to heal our hearts. We'll never forget this. Thank you ever so much.